The truth likely lies somewhere between tragedy and adaptation. The silent settlement, it was meant to be the dawn of a new empire. In July of 1587, 115 English settlers arrived on the rugged shores of Roanoke Island, seeking a foothold in the vast, untamed wilderness of the New World. Led by Governor John White, these were not just soldiers. They were families, men, women, and children determined to carve a life out of the unknown. They brought with them the hopes of a nation and the dreams of a future. But 3 years later, when White finally returned from an urgent supply run to England, he found something that would baffle historians for centuries. The settlement was gone. No bodies, no signs of violent struggle, no frantic trail of flight. The structures had been dismantled, not destroyed. And there, carved into a wooden post of the settlement's palisade, was one haunting, enigmatic word: Croatoan. Today, we explore the enduring mystery of the Lost Colony of Roanoke, a story where history dissolves into myth and where silence speaks louder than any record left behind. The siege of time. To understand the loss, we must first understand the crushing weight of isolation. The colony was born in the shadow of global conflict. England and Spain were locked in a desperate naval struggle for dominance of the seas. When John White returned to England for supplies in 1587, he was caught in the tides of history. The British government, under imminent threat from the Spanish Armada, placed an embargo on all outgoing ships. White was trapped. He was forced to watch as his daughter, his newborn granddaughter, and his community vanished into the distance, unreachable across a war-torn ocean. He expected to be gone for months. He returned in 1590. His arrival was not marked by the shouts of greeting or the smoke of a hearth, but by an eerie, haunting silence that seemed to swallow the very air. The houses were gone. The island was slowly being reclaimed by the forest. The silence was absolute. John White spent his final, agonizing days on the island searching for a sign of his people. He found nothing but the carved name of a nearby island, a message that provided more questions than answers, and no map to guide him home. The theories, where did they go? For 400 years, the world has asked, where did they go? The absence of evidence has fueled centuries of speculation. First, there is the assimilation theory. Many historians believe the settlers, driven by starvation and desperation, integrated with the local Croatoan tribe. Archaeological evidence, including English-made artifacts and copper found at indigenous sites, suggests they didn't perish but adapted. They chose to survive by blending in. Second, consider the conflict theory. Some argue they were victims of a hostile raid, their presence perceived as an encroachment on indigenous sovereignty. In this light, their disappearance was a tragic erasure by forces that saw them as unwelcome intruders. Finally, we must look to the environmental theory. Life on the Outer Banks was brutal. The soil was poor, the weather volatile, and the sea unforgiving. Some suggest that the Lost Colony didn't exist as a single group for long. Instead, they may have scattered, moving inland to find resources, slowly dying off in the isolation of the mainland forest. It is a slow, quiet end to a bold, ambitious dream. The search for truth, modern science, is finally beginning to peel back the layers of this ancient puzzle. Advances in ground-penetrating radar, satellite imagery, and forensic archaeology are rewriting the narrative. We are no longer looking for a ghost story. We are looking for the tangible fragments of human lives. Every shard of broken pottery, every patch of unusually disturbed earth, and every oral tradition passed down through generations offers a new, vital clue. The Lost Colony may not be truly lost at all. It may simply be waiting for us to stop looking for a catastrophe and start looking for a community that moved on. They survived in the only way they knew how, by becoming part of the landscape itself. Conclusion. The echo of Roanoke remains a mirror for our own anxieties. It is the story of human resilience, the fragility of order, and the enduring power of the unknown. We may never have a final, definitive answer. The truth likely lies somewhere between tragedy and adaptation. But in the silence of that island, the voices of those 115 souls still echo. They remind us that in the vast, wild expanse of history, nothing is ever truly forgotten. It is merely waiting for the right light to reveal its secrets.